There's power in a drum beat on a hill above the sea. Power in the voice of a supporter. But it all amounts to nothing. Together we don't sing. There's power when we're not OIC. And it's big or forever. Old town stingery. Valley and mountain shine brown to the sea. And the colors of our rainbow, sunset orange, Tory green. There's power when we're not OIC. SC Lloyd or forever. Someday North County. Desert to islands. Get back on you and me. All our voices strong together as we cheer on our team. There is power when we're not
Welcome to the Loyal Locals podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Dyer. We have a lot of good loyal soccer and locals activities to talk to tonight, including our first bus trip of the season. Yes, that's right. It's coming. We've got the details. So if you are interested in the biggest party on 4-6 wheels, however many that bus has, this is the spot. We will tell you. But first, I need to bring on our guests. First, let's introduce our producer, John Cross. John, how are you tonight?
Hi, thank you. I am doing very well tonight. I'm excited to talk about our bus information, breaking news with our bus information, and get ourselves ready for our Open Cup match and our El Paso match tonight.
Oh my gosh, I should have teased it. Yes, there's a game actually tomorrow. And so we will also have information about watch parties, plural. That is also coming up in the show. But first, I need to introduce our guest, Eric Wilke, our returning champion, Eric Wilke. Hello, sir.
Hi, guys. How are you guys doing tonight?
Great. I'm ready to talk about this week. And the week to come, I think there's a lot of the club put it out like 3 games in 1 week that they're doing. We're in the midst of that, and then of course coming off the game Sunday, the day game, which I hope is the last day game for at least a little while. Somebody has to check me because I don't do any research before the pod, but I do believe that this is the last, if not one of the last day games. They were kind of front loaded in the beginning of the season and then kind of smoothed out toward the end.
I'm just going to hope that you're right, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I have the schedule here. I'm looking at it.
It feels right. I'm just going to go with that because, we're fan media and it's all about vibes.
Labor Day weekend is our next afternoon game. Home afternoon game.
You gotta be kidding me. You come on a Labor Day weekend in the middle of the day in the sun. Okay, whatever. It's okay. We're gonna be there because that's what we do. We go when it's sunny, whenever the sun is beating down on you. Sunday it was a very temperate 70 degrees. Labor Day weekend. Not historically that temperature range, but regardless, we'll be there. We'll be hydrated. We'll be slathered in SPF 50, and cheering on the first place, of course, San Diego Loyal. At that point in the season, they should be running away with it. I would think that they would be up by at least a dozen or more points at the table. I'm just prognosticating where I see things going, and that is, of course, number 1.
They'll have clinched the West by then, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. They're going to be playing. It's going to be all academy kids on the field. They're going to be like, oh, we're going to give Koki the month off. We'll be done.
I'll sign up for that. Sounds good. Let's go.
So let's talk a little bit about Sunday's game under the shining sun in 109 in the middle of the day. We were all there, right? Everybody was there. Everybody on this podcast.
I was there. Yeah,
we were all there. Yeah,
making sure. I did not take a roll, so I don't know everybody that was there. Although, given the the attendance, I probably could have because these day games tend to be a little bit thinner. We were certainly a little thin in the rhythm section, but I think we powered through, and I think it sounded great. And we had a few people jump on drums that don't always play drums, and so shout out to them, the kids that jumped on. Like, they were actually very big help, and it's actually a good opportunity if you are interested in playing a drum. These day games, there are usually opportunities for that because we're usually not at our full strength. A lot of people have to work on the weekends, which affects attendance, which is why.
I will say at the beginning of the match, it did seem a little thin, but it filled in nicely from what I saw throughout the match. And I felt like it was actually one of the better attended day matches that I can remember. And it was,
the
good.
Last day game was like that too. The one against Tulsa, it was pretty well attended as well. So I feel like there's we're not selling out matches, but I feel like the bare minimum of like loyal fans that are making every game, I feel like it's growing. It's more than
it's
maybe
gone up, in
previous years. Yeah. There's more people that seem to come to every game. Like the attendance certainly seems to be up. That section to our right, the kind of the main sections, it hasn't been like your typical like USL section like you see on some of our road games.
Absolutely. And I was rewatching the game as well today, and you could definitely hear 109 coming through loud and strong on the broadcast. So even though we were a little thinner in numbers, I think we definitely still showed out for sure.
Yeah, there was some point in the game where I like, this happens sometimes. I'll like turn around and be like, you're not loud enough. Be loud. Like, I apologize to anybody that I make eye contact with that. It's not directed at any individual, but sometimes I'll meet eyes with somebody and they're like, me? Like, no, not you. I'm just being that person. Watch the capo. Like, go. That person, watch them, follow them. But the game on the field, a 1-0 win, but I feel like it could have been 3 or 4-0 because there were some opportunities that just did not result in a goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Damus with hit the post, and Kyle Adams had a really good look at a cross from Charlie that probably should have gone in, and I think we could have easily been up 3-0 for sure. But, take what you can get. 1-0 is still a win.
It was one of the few times that I can recall, being a loyal supporter, that even though it was only 1-0, I never really felt worried. That's the first time in a while. I mean, you're always worried because it's 1-0, right? But we've had other times that we know where it's 1-0, it's late in the game, and it's like, oh no. Like, here it comes. Like, you're just waiting for it. This was the first game I can remember where I'm watching it. I'm hoping, Tampa Bay doesn't get lucky with something along the way, but I never felt worried or panicked, I guess.
Here's
the time where we're gonna.
This year, it's not like that. It's they're a better team. You don't have the late game meltdown. You don't have the kind of the sense, that creeping dread that like inevitably something bad is about to happen to us.
Right.
That was just our experience over these seasons. And this year, I don't get that creepy crawly up the spine so much. In fact, they brought in Hackworth towards the end, and it was like, all right, it's like your victory cigar. You bring in Hackworth. It's hey, we're doing good. We're feeling good. Not to mention the start from the U.S. men's national youth team goalie, Duran Ferry, our 16-year-old professional goalkeeper, looking every bit the grown-ass man between the posts. God, he just has such a command of that goal in his box, and just the confidence that he plays with. If you didn't know he was 16 years old, like I would not think so.
Well, not just that. I mean, Dylan Wilson had relayed a story, and I forget where, if it was on Locals Last Call or something, but somewhere when I was around with Dylan, and saying he was sitting near people, and like 20 minutes into the game, the people he was near, somebody said, well, wait a minute, that's not Koke. right? It took them that long to realize that it was a different keeper in there, and not only a different keeper, a 16-year-old keeper in there. I mean, if you didn't know any better and you just kind of loosely watched the team, the play was the same, filling in the space in the back. I like you said,
he is
a
good with
man
his
between
feet.
the posts right now. He looked good. He was confident, strong in the air a couple of times. I was
Didn't have a single
really
save.
Didn't need
Yeah.
to, because our
Right.
defense is just that much better this year. And this was a rotated squad to get ready for tomorrow's game in
Right.
Seattle. And just the performance on the field, like John said, there just was no nervousness. You kind of just knew that we had it and we were going to see the game out, which with a rotated squad is just a great feeling to have, to be honest. So,
Right, and how about
looking forward.
Camden Riley's play? Like stepping in back there on the back line. His play this year, he's
he's
one
having
of
a
the
great
players
season.
I have been most impressed with from a year-to-year improvement.
Absolutely.
really-
Most improved player by far. Exponential improvement this season. I hate to say it, but like when Cam would come in last season, kind of a little nervy, not too sure what to expect. But now, like I saw he got the start, and I wasn't worried at all. And he played so well. It was really just a joy to watch him, and I think a well-deserved man of the match for the locals as well.
Yeah, and I know that was a tight vote, man of the match, but I think that speaks volumes because typically goal scorers get it frequently. But I think it really stood out, his play.
Yeah, we haven't talked
for
about
coming
it.
in.
We've mentioned several players, and we didn't even talk about Adrian Perez, who got that goal
Right,
off
who
of a
got the
really
goal.
nice assist from Ronaldo Damos. A little bit of a goalie error, but you don't get goals if you don't take that shot. So,
Well,
Right.
and that whole buildup started with Duran, like we were saying. Like it started with Duran, went to Kyle Adams, moved it around, switches. Charlie had to touch. Damus with the assist in there. Yeah, like you said, if you don't put it on target, you're not going to score, right? You got to test the keeper and see what happens. So good goal for Adrian to open his account with Loyal.
yeah,
sure.
you should get like bonus points whenever that many players touch the ball in the build up. That should count more. I'll leave my notes in the USL commissioner's inbox. But like you said, it was a rotated squad, and that is because tomorrow we are playing. Well, I guess they're a professional team. They're in another professional league, the Major League Soccer League.
Major League Soccer.
Major League Soccer League. Major League Soccer League. Yes, that one. The Seattle Sounders, which, depending on who you ask, is either the device that you test the depth of a bilge on a ship, or a sexual device where two men kind of put it's called urethral sounding. Google it or don't. But very interesting, very educational afternoon for me. Whenever
I thought it referred
it.
to the sound, as in like the body of water sound. No,
I don't know, man.
No.
I don't know about that. I'm pretty convinced.
Sounds like you did your research though, so I'll defer to you.
I did it incognito mode. I'm not getting those recommendations from the algorithm. So let me just, sounding, urethral sounding. It's fascinating practice. Doctors do recommend against it. So if you are a Sounders fan of urethral sounding, don't. It's recommended not to do that. It's risk injuring your. Yeah, but see, I don't know anything about them. They play in the Major League Soccer League, which I don't know anything about, other than the fact that they are maybe trying to kill the club that I love. So, are they good? Does anybody know? Are they good?
Seem to be pretty good.
Now that you said that, I had to think back, and I really haven't watched too much Major League Soccer this year.
I know they were good like 10 years ago.
The only thing I can say about Seattle, though, historically, is they take the Open Cup seriously. more so than most Major League Soccer teams.
Well, they
From
won
what
it
I've
3 years in a
So
row.
it'll be more rewarding when we win that way.
Well, I think they had a deep run in the Champions League. Oh wait, no, that was OAFC. I'm sorry, they got knocked out of CCL in the
No, they
first
got-
game. So
Wait. A year or two ago, they made it away in the CONCACAF Champions League. They made it to the championship game against a team
They
from
won.
Mexico.
Yeah.
But they won that game.
not this year.
Not this year. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know anything about them. I'm looking
I
forward
think I
to
heard they're in like. I think they're actually doing pretty well in the league.
Oh my
from what I've
gosh,
heard.
here's
I think they're
Jason
first or
again.
second.
interrupting the vibes to correct us with facts. They're in first place right now in the West. Gosh, man.
I mean, yeah. All right, fine. They're in
Well, they're
first
not
in the
even
West.
playing in their real stadium. They're playing in the old, the Seattle, or no, the Tacoma Defiance's stadium, which I guess is,
Starfire.
yeah. And there is a contingent of locals planning to attend that match. So shout out to them for going all the way to Seattle, the Puget Sound, the beautiful SeaTac Airport area, which I believe this is another stadium that is practically at the airport. So
We have people flying up from San Diego, and we have some extra locals who are already in the Pacific Northwest that are going to be out at the match. So hope we hear them on the broadcast tomorrow.
yeah, I hope. I mean, I do hope that like Seattle's fans turn up, like even though it's a different stadium and maybe it's what they might see as a lesser opponent. But we were talking about this on Twitter today. Like Loyal really is like a massive club, like kind of too massive even for USL. So if you're an MLS fan and your team is playing a USL side, like this is the one to come and see, right?
Absolutely.
This is it. Yeah.
So it'll be fun. John, where are we having a watch party? I know there's going to be one.
There is going to be one at we're tagging on with the team's official watch party at Fair Play. So that's where you're going to want to go watch the match. I think
R.I.P. Coronado. I haven't been to Fair Play. I took the closing of Coronado really hard. I haven't been able to bring myself to go and dance on their grave at Fair Play, who now occupy that space. But I might have to do it for this match. We'll see.
Eric, you going to be out there?
Unfortunately, with school night, I will not be able to attend, so I'll be watching from home for the Open Cup.
And this is, fortunately for us, one of the few matches in this round that are, was scheduled from early on to be televised on Bleacher Report on their YouTube channel. So I think they're only doing 8 each of these early rounds, 8 matches. So there's a whole bunch of teams that have had to figure out their own way of streaming. U.S. Soccer was only doing 8. I don't know how they picked the 8, but at least we have a stream that we can watch. And speaking of Open Cup, go ahead.
Oh, I'm just gonna, I'm sorry, I have to make a comment. Just that U.S. Soccer is just staffed with the best, most foresighted people who have the best interest of soccer as a whole in the U.S. At the front of their mind. They really understand the fans. They understand the culture. They understand what it takes to bring the passion and to build the passion and get people excited. They really understand it, and they prove it week in and week out by not putting these games on TV.
Or taking it off a very accessible platform such as ESPN Plus, like it was last season, and kind of putting it on VR, which great thinking by them there.
Yeah. Why get people excited about interleague soccer? Like, well, who cares? Like, why would we do this? We don't know.
I think there's some conversations to be had in the lounge on this.
So the locals are going to be at Fair Play. There are also, of course, several spots that also show these games. Although on a Wednesday, I'm not sure how much camaraderie you're going to find.
Well, the only thing I would, because this is not an untypical broadcast, it's on the Bleacher Report YouTube stream. You may want to just double check. I haven't heard confirmation from any of our other partners whether they'll be showing this particular match. Normally, yes, all our other ones go to, but if you're thinking about going to Cabarrus or Northern Pine, O'Brien's, I mean, in any place, I would check ahead of time before you go. But Fair
Yeah,
Play
for
will
sure.
definitely have the game.
For sure. There's I'm gonna hop ahead to the next game. What is the third game of the 3 games in 1 week schedule we've got?
For El Paso, our next home match. Is that the one you're talking about?
Is it a night game? Tell me it's a night game.
It is a night game.
Oh, yes.
All right, so on Saturday, coming up, it'll be match day 8 for us against El Paso Locomotive. Kickoff will be returned to our normal 7 o'clock kickoff time. So all our normal, usual things for a home match. If you're helping set up, they'll meet at 3 o'clock to do the setup. 4 o'clock at Coronado. March to the match, we'll meet at 6:35 at the Fountain. Kickoff, like we said, at 7. Man of the match afterwards, and O'Brien's post-match. So we'll back to our normal routine.
What do we think about El Paso?
Seem to be a lot stronger this season so far coming out of the gate. Last season, I remember we dispatched them pretty easily, but I'm thinking it's going to be a much more difficult match come Saturday, especially with being their third game in the week. So
yeah, I'm so tired of close games. I'm ready to win by like 4 or 5 goals. Like I think we're owed one. If the coaching staff or the players are listening, like, come on, man, it's time.
This is time.
Give us a 5 goal. Let's do this. Let's do it to El Paso. I think that's going to be the move. Anything less will be disappointing.
And what I did want to point out, I mean, like I said, it's a normal game and all our normal routines. I did want to point out, because I had a couple people ask me whether there was going to be a bum's parking lot. And no, I want to be clear, there's not. But this was a potential date. So I think that's why word might have gotten out to some people that this might be a bum's parking lot. So no bum's parking lot for the El Paso match. There will be others later. We're solidifying some of those dates, but not for this weekend. Normal meetup at Coronado like we normally do.
Speaking of things that we normally do, we normally ride buses to Orange County for away games. Do we have a bus going to Orange County in, I think it is just May 6th, right? Or May.
That would be the following weekend, right? After the El Paso match, right? The next weekend.
How do dates work? What day is that?
That would be the 6th of May, I believe.
Hey, I was right. Look at that.
Yeah.
Fact check me now, Jason. I got it.
All right, so let's start off with a couple of things to try to make sure everybody's clear on this. The club, SD Loyal, are doing a couple of buses for season ticket members. Okay, so if you're a season ticket member, that is an option to go on the bus. You just pay for your tickets. So you need to contact the team and do all those arrangements. So they're going to have a couple of buses that go up. However, if you want to travel with the locals are doing their own bus. And I'm going to scroll down a little bit here, which I love this graphic every time it comes up. I love this next stop 3 points up here at the very top above the door. Just every time I see it.
We need to get a wrap to put on that bus. That would be the move.
So let's scroll a little bit so you can see the price. So it is on the 6th. It is $10. Now, some people may be looking at that like, this is drastically different than previous bus trips. And yes, fortunately for us, in terms of cost saving, the club has offered to pay for our locals bus. So the bus for the team, if you're going with the club with SD Loyal and they're for the season ticket members, that is a free bus. Ours is $10 because we have food and drinks and everything else, and it is a very different experience going on the locals bus than the season ticket member bus with the loyal,
I wouldn't know because
which
I've
may
never
be a
been on
good
the season ticket bus. I've
which
always
may be
been
a good
on
or
the
a
local
bad thing.
bus. If you like to maybe catch a nap on your way to Orange County, maybe you like, you have a sleeping infant on your lap. Um, you suffer from narcolepsy. You want to catch up on reading. I would recommend that season ticket member bus. But if you like to have fun with the coolest and most attractive soccer supporters you will ever meet, you will ever encounter, it's definitely the locals bus because, ladies and gentlemen, we get down and it's always a good time. I don't think I've missed one of these bus trips since we started doing it. It's one of the best things about being part of a supporter group. You make a friend with your seatmate, or you come with a bunch of your friends. Um, there is beer on the bus. There's beer on the bus. You don't have to bring your own. You can, but we will give it to you. You can drink our beer, or I will drink their beer or our beer. It's community beer. We're a community. We're a family. It's part of what we do, and it's a lot of fun. There is a bathroom on the bus. You may be concerned about all of this drinking. There is a place to, you know, and then we roll into Orange County in the mood to steal 3 points from them, and it's always a good time.
Also, a couple other things about the locals bus that people have questions about. It is for locals members, but it is all ages. We have all ages that go on the bus. I know Andrew said that we have fun, and yes, there's alcohol, but not just alcohol. There's water. There's other things for anyone who wants to come. So I want to be sure everyone knows that
I've
it is
brought
all
my
ages.
child. I've brought my
We
child.
we do have
yes.
kids and families that come on the locals bus. We also have people who prefer to go on the season ticket member bus. It is a different experience. So pick the one that's best for you, but do it quickly. Because in section 13, there are only about 176 seats, which the team has bought up that entire section. And between those three buses, that's about 150 of those seats already. And some people like to drive up there. So I want to read a couple of things that I was sent from Jason to make sure I don't mess any of this up, to get some information out. If you just want to, or if you want to get your ticket, because this $10 is only for the bus if you're going on the locals bus. If you want to get your game ticket, you need to contact SD Loyal, contact Barbie to make sure we get tickets in the supporter section, which is section 13. And you want to do that as soon as possible. And if you want to get set up for the bus, for the locals, if you're not aware of what site I'm on right now, I'm going to scroll all the way back up to the top. I'm on the locals website. Go into the locals website, go to Bums Bazaar, and you can buy that ticket right now for the bus. So maybe we'll hear back if we're getting some tickets being purchased.
www.thelocalssg.com. There are 3 fewer tickets, I will say, available because I cheated and found out about it before the pod, and I went and got mine. So better get on it because I'm way ahead of you right now.
Also, the last thing I want to mention about the locals bus is it will leave earlier than the season ticket member bus. So it will be leaving probably, I don't think these times are fully solidified, but right now what I was given is 4 and 4:30. There will be that should be Balboa and Cardiff should be the 2 spots, but double check Discord for all the final information as it gets fleshed out over the next few days. But it will be going up a little bit early, so we should be in the parking lots well before kickoff to be able to roll in. If I pull up the other graphic here, they're leaving at 4:30 and 5 to get up there for the game. So they will be going. The season ticket member buses will be a little bit behind the locals bus. So that may play into which bus you want to take as well.
And unlike the last time we rolled up to OC, they are not splitting us across the field. In fact, we are not sitting in the prime location on camera where we got to embarrass them. We are moving under the cameras, under their paid drummers on the other side of the stadium. So it's really just a kind of like they've challenged us to be louder, which will be very important because one, we will not be on camera anymore, but then two, we're going to be right under the cameras and likely maybe in nearer proximity to a microphone. So very important to bring your lungs and lubricate this, thoroughly on the ride up there on the bus so that we can spoil their home match and come away with 3 points.
I would also, just to look ahead at the schedule, I don't know how many people have looked at the schedule, but our El Paso match that we have this weekend is not our last home game for a while, but we're hitting a stretch where we're going to have 8 away games and 3 home games after that El Paso match. So the Orange County is the first away match. So we want to kind of kick off this longer road trip, kick it off with a good start up there in Orange County. Our second home up there.
Yeah, Torero North. I love it. It's a great stadium, championship stadium. Really great. Really jealous that that whole great park exists in Orange County and not down here. But hey, that's what you get whenever you close a Marine Corps Air Station and redevelop an entire basically airfield. You get a bunch of great real estate prime for level soccer fields, which are kind of rare in San Diego. So unless they want to, unless the Marines want to give up Miramar and turn that into a soccer complex, then I think we're probably not going to see that down here.
Probably not. Eric, are you going to be going on the bus or to the game?
Unfortunately, due to other sporting conflicts with my children, I will not be able to attend. I've got lacrosse and soccer matches scheduled for that weekend, so I will be watching from home.
Oh yeah, I should probably check those schedules to make sure I can go. Now that I've bought my bus tickets,
3 tickets,
maybe I should make sure I can. Well, I'll be there. I'm just kidding. We're gonna make it happen.
And I will be there too, but I will not be on the bus. I will be one of those people buying a ticket and then driving up. So also, if you want to drive up and get tickets, make sure you contact the club, get your tickets as soon as possible, get that squared away. If you want to sit in section 13, I'm sure you can buy tickets in other sections, but if you want to be in section 13 with everybody else, you probably want to get on that as quickly as you can.
So moving on from the away trip, John, I know you had a couple things you wanted to get to. I don't know if you've got shout outs, but I think we should probably shout out Joe Corona for making Team of the Week in the USL. The only loyal player to make it. We talked about our goalie. We talked about our striker. We talked about our other striker. We talked about our left. What are you playing? Left back. Kendon played right back, left back, somewhere back there.
I played left back. I think.
Anyway, we talked about. We did not. We forgot our man, our Team of the Week member, Joe Corona. So I definitely want to shout him out. That was announced today. So. Just a team bursting with talent at every position, so much so that we can talk about several of them and not even mention the person that was recognized by the league. So it's a good problem to have.
It is a good problem to have. I did have a couple other people. I'd like to thank Travis Peterson once again for coming up with some new artwork for us for Locals Last Call. So we now have those graphics for those shows, like all the other shows, which we didn't have before. If you haven't seen it, it's got a lot of details. I don't have it available to me to pull up at the moment, but it's up there on the YouTube channels and the other things. So check it out. I like that piece of artwork that he did for Locals Last Call. The space nerd in me wants to give a huge shout out to our president, Steve Brokoff, who has been kind of away from the locals for a little bit because he is busy, without too much detail, being involved in a rocket launch that's going to happen tomorrow. And the former astronomy major of myself was very, very jealous that I can't be in his shoes tomorrow for what's going on with his rocket launch. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Steve.
He's going to be. This is confirmed. He's going to be actually the person doing the 10, 9. That's him. That's his role. He's doing the counting down. What an incredible opportunity. I just made that up. I'm not,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the only job I know at the rocket launch. I can imagine, like, there's a lot of people with headsets and, like in Apollo 13, but like the person that does the countdown, absolutely vital, because without that, like, they don't know when to press launch, so
Yeah.
It doesn't happen without the countdown. So shout out Steve.
So I just want to give him a shout out and wish him the best, because I'm sure that's a bit of a stressful situation as they get ready for the launch tomorrow. And hopefully we'll see him back a little more often here coming up here soon, since he's been away with this the last really few weeks.
You mentioned that we really got to shout out Lydia Brockhoff, Steve's wife, who filled in for him as the first lady in her FLOTUS duties on Sunday, bringing stuff into the match, all while juggling the two kiddos. Just an incredible amount of work and effort from her. So thank you, Lydia. We see you, all the work you do. So thanks for that.
Yes, thank you very much. And the last shout out I want to do is, if you didn't get a chance to listen to it or watch it yet, on Monday night, it's Tuesday as we're recording this, so last night, we did do a new Kicking It with the Locals, and we continued our supporter group series. We had Cameron Collins, who's the president of Gorilla FC, one of the Seattle Sounders supporter groups. And we had him on and spoke for about an hour. Jason and I were on there, and it was a good conversation. If you haven't had a chance to listen to it, you might want to check it out before the Open Cup match on Wednesday.
You didn't tell him what I said about the urethral sounding, right? Because want to make it create any awkward conversations.
I'm about halfway through, and I haven't heard it mentioned yet. So I think
okay.
But Cameron's a good guy. It was a good conversation that we had. It's been fun doing these supporter group conversations to get to know the human side of some of the other supporter groups out there.
I don't want to. I think of them
as all I have
as my enemies. I don't look at them as humans. I look at them as something other. To keep the ice water in the veins, to keep the 1,000-yard stare. I really can't see them as anything other than, the opposition, and I deny their humanity. I deny their teams, their birthrights, everything. We will lay waste to everything you hold dear. We're going to go into Puget Sound. We're going to go right into the SeaTac Airport where your stadium is, and lay waste to the Major League Soccer League team that you like. I assume they like them, but I can't wait. Open Cup, fun. It's going to be on TV finally. That's tomorrow. Hey, we got it going. Tell me, John, what's next on our agenda for the pod?
I think we've pretty much covered most things. Maybe just a quick reminder of the 5v5 tournament that they have scheduled, which is going to be for the weekend after the OC match.
All right.
Pull this thing up here.
If you like to exercise, let me tell you.
When we play RGV. Yeah, last week when we mentioned this on the show, no one was interested in playing. So
yeah, man.
How about you, Eric? Eric, you going to get out there and play some 5v5?
Well, it's conveniently scheduled for Mother's Day weekend, so that won't go over too well.
It sounds exhausting. It sounds exhausting. I would,
if your wife or mother of your children is interested in playing 5v5 soccer, that might be the great Mother's Day present
There you go.
there.
Good Mother's Day gift. That's
You know,
right.
I think Chavos are putting a team together, so there will be
Are they?
some supporter representation. There was some discussion about it, so
Oh.
I know they gotten together and played some soccer in the past, so they might be doing that. Haven't followed up in a little bit, but
Well, if they do, let me know because I wanna go check it out. If we have anybody from the supporter group or 109 that's playing, I want to
for
check
sure,
that out.
for sure, yeah, it's soccer. You know, normally it's I don't know if you played like bridge ricotta or whatever.
Yeah.
I tried to do it one time. Wow, let me tell you. You want to know pain like the next day after trying to like play like street soccer. You know, that's like a 3 or 4 aside deal. You know, I just some things pass you by when you get older, and maybe for me that's one of them because the next day I'll never forget it. Uh, you know, just walking, standing, the little things in life became much much more difficult and painful. So you know, God bless everybody who can do that because I'm not one of them.
Well, again, if it wasn't for the unfortunate date of the scheduling, I might be interested in it. I used to play a little goalkeeper in a indoor 5v5 league, which I quite enjoyed. But yes, that was a few years ago, though, so I might be in the same situation as Andrew afterwards. I'm not entirely certain at this point.
You ever forget you're out of shape and then like accidentally exercise and then like the next day you're like, oh my gosh, why am I in so much pain? It's like, oh yeah, I walked like, you know, a mile yesterday. No, that's what it is. Like I had to walk somewhere and now my Achilles hurt. Like, wow, this is embarrassing.
We have a saying in my house that my wife has told me for a very long time, and now my kids tell me and everything is that you're not 16 anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I get whenever I try to do something, or I think I can do something that my 55-year-old body won't let me do.
It did happen. I know we're getting into lounge territory here, but it happened to me recently because I was on the East Coast for my friend's wedding. You know, we were in New England, and you know, we drove up from Boston and you know stopped at like some town, like some quaint seaside town, and we stopped in like New Hampshire, and then of course in Portland, Maine, we're like, you know, walking around. Like I did a lot of walking. Now, walking is not something that I associate with like pain, right? But like by like the second or third day, I was like, man, I'm really sore. What did I do? I was like trying to think about what I did. Did I like I didn't run, I didn't do anything. And I was like, oh,
Oh,
I've been
walked.
walking around like a tourist. Like that's why I'm in pain. It was a humbling realization that when I realized that just simply like walking around was like causing me distress. But I do highly recommend. I've never been back east before, the East Coast, whatever, New England. I've never been there before. I kept thinking like the redcoats were coming around the corner. Every building looks like you're in like the Revolutionary War. There's like little alleys, and it's like, oh man, like that's kind of like, you know, you can just see like the redcoats coming, and like everything's made of brick. Like they build everything out of brick. Like even the sidewalk, they're like brick sidewalks. I was just like, what is? I'm gonna twist my ankle on this sidewalk. It's uneven. And then like the curbs are like made of granite. We were in New Hampshire. I'm like, oh yeah, it's because it's the granite state, right? Like the curb for the street is made of granite, a granite curb. My mind was just my mind was consistently just being blown. I'm like walking around, I'm like, oh fuck, that's a cute ass building. Like really like being just the most dumb like California bro, like, oh, they really make everything out of bricks here, huh? Like, whoa, like, oh man, these houses are cute. Like these roofs are like hella steep and like they're old. Everything's old. Like the wood on the floors, like it creaks when you walk on it because the buildings are old. I've never seen no old building before. It was great. Very it's like a different time, a different place. So, um, But I mean, it was cold. It was like 50 degrees, so they can keep it. But it was cool. It was a good experience.
Well, it's good to have you back on the show this week.
I did. It's too bad I missed it last week because it would have been a lot of fun. But yeah, I was sitting at the airport watching it on YouTube, which is the best I could do. Y'all did great.
It was good. It was good to have you chime in there. That was fun.
So, do we want to take a break and come back for the lounge?
Yeah. So we'll wrap up just a quick shows for this week. I know Bum's Breakdown was recorded yesterday, on Monday, so it should be coming out maybe Wednesday, but I don't know, with all our games and stuff, it might come out Thursday. But look for that. Another Bum's Breakdown will be coming up this week. There will be a locals last call after the game since we have a home game. No kicking it with the locals this week. We don't have any interviews lined up, but a couple of us from the team are going to be getting together to start planning some things out to hopefully get on a weekly schedule here moving forward. As we do have some interesting guests lined up for the summer. That's all I'll say for right now. So it'll be exciting to get those coming around. And then we're going to do the lounge here in about 15 minutes. So yeah, we should probably start wrapping up and get ready for that.
All right. So I do want to just say for anybody that is still listening, or if you're listening to this on the podcast, that you can join in these discussions whenever you want on Discords, where they happen 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You do not have to be a paid member of the locals to join Discord, but you do have to be a member. Membership is free on the website. And I can't recommend it enough. This community only is as good as the people that join it, and it's a lot of fun. I know sometimes I open Facebook like once a week, and I know there's like a locals Facebook, and like sometimes I'll see people commenting in there on Facebook. I'm like, oh man, where are you? What are you doing on Facebook? Like, come to the Discord where people are going to see your message. So I would say come to Discord, join, get in the Discord, answers to all your questions, all your dreams coming true right there in each channel. So please come and join. Eric, where can people find you? Are you on Twitter? Are you on socials? Where are you at?
So on Twitter, it's at Eric D. Wilke, and then on the Discord, just Eric Wilke is probably the best place.
And John, where can folks find you?
Best place is on the Discord at John Cross. And just a last reminder, go buy your bus tickets.
That's also on the website. All right. So I'm Andrew Dyer. You can find me on Twitter at Andrew P. Dyer. I am still on Twitter. I am still tweeting, even though it's a very weird place these days. But hey, I'm there. We can watch it burn together. Otherwise, I'll be in the Discord, and I'll be in 109. You can also find me in 109 almost every game. So, all right. Have a good week, everybody, and join us in 15 minutes on the Locals Lounge.